So, I have a podcast, and the other day I was doing an interview, and this person who I was interviewing didn't have a book. Normally when someone has a book, then you can read the book and kind of get the story of their life. They didn't have a book, and so I used one of the AIs. I used DeepSeek to do my preliminary research. And it ended up being so specific that I thought, man, this is incredible. Like, told me where he went to high school and about his brother who had an addiction and died of an overdose and all this crazy stuff. So anyway, during the interview, I'm referencing some of these things that I saw on DeepSeek. And he's like, no, that wasn't true. No, I grew up this other place. No, I didn't. That never happened to me. And it was so embarrassing. And after the interview, I went and I looked up my own profile on DeepSeek. It said I was born in Montgomery, Alabama, which is not true. I grew up there, but I wasn't born there. And it said that I grew up in Indianapolis, Indiana. I've never been to Indianapolis before. It said that I was a break dancer in school and that I was in the late 80s. I was a part of a breakdancing crew called the Fantastic Four in Indianapolis. Again, so specific and so wrong. It's almost like it's a pathological liar. After college, I lived 6 months in an ashram in West Virginia, rising at 4 a.m. to chant and do chores. And I joked that this was my spiritual boot camp. It's so wrong. And then get this, in the early 2000s, I was a nightclub promoter in Las Vegas, apparently. And then I would study the Vedanta at night during the day while I was working in the nightclub at night. And it said that my book, Bliss More, was rejected by 25 publishers, which is not true. All that to say, do not rely on AI and especially on DeepSeek for any sort of research, because it will sound very specific, like it's so true, but it's so wrong. I don't know why it's so wrong. I don't know how they came up with these facts. I thought maybe there's somebody else named Light Watkins who they're confusing me with, but again, it'll weave in and out of stuff that kind of happened, but a lot of stuff that never happened and that just was so far away from the truth. It's almost like it's bizarre. But yeah, I learned my lesson the hard way, and so I'm just warning you, don't rely on AI.